Michael had always been focused and professional. As a fitness trainer, his job was to help people achieve their goals, not to get entangled in their personal lives. So when Sharon walked into the gym for her first one-on-one session, Michael treated it like any other appointment. Sharon was strikingly attractive, with a confident demeanor that turned heads. From the very first session, she began showing signs of interest in Michael, subtly at first, a lingering gaze here, a playful comment there. Michael noticed, of course, but he made a point to keep things strictly professional. He had a rule: no relationships at work. It was a boundary he'd never crossed. But Sharon was persistent. Over time, her flirtations became more overt. She'd compliment his physique, laugh a little too long at his jokes, and even brushed up against him accidentally during stretches. Michael remained courteous, but he was firm in his resolve not to let things escalate. Then came the day Sharon pulled a muscle in her lower back during a session. She winced in pain, and Michael, ever the professional, immediately suggested a massage to help alleviate the tension. As he worked on her back, the atmosphere in the room changed. Sharon moaned softly as his hands moved over her, and before Michael realized what was happening, she had turned to face him, her eyes locking onto his. "Michael," she whispered, her voice thick with seduction, "I need you." For the first time, Michael hesitated. Every instinct told him to stop, to walk away, but Sharon's allure was too powerful. In that moment, he gave in. One thing led to another, and soon they were locked in a passionate embrace, their professional boundaries shattered. What followed was a whirlwind of secret meetings in the gym, each more intense than the last. But as the weeks turned into months, Michael began to notice something odd. Despite their physical relationship, Sharon refused to meet him outside the gym. He'd suggest dinner, a movie, even just a walk in the park, but she always declined with a smile. "Let's keep things simple," she'd say. "I like what we have here." A year passed, and Michael had grown emotionally attached. He wanted more than just these stolen moments in the gym. One evening, after another intense session, he finally asked her the question that had been weighing on his mind. "Sharon," he began nervously, "I think we should take this further. I want us to live together." Sharon looked at him, and for the first time, there was no playful spark in her eyes. Instead, she sighed and sat up, her expression unreadable. "Michael," she said slowly, "I need to be honest with you." His heart sank. He knew that tone. It wasn't going to be good. "I'm married," she continued, watching his reaction closely. "And I'm very happy with my husband. He's a top manager in a large corporation, and he makes a lot of money. We have a great life together." Michael's mind raced, trying to process her words. "But then why are you with me?" Sharon smiled, but there was a coldness to it now. "You're fun, Michael. You're a nice distraction from my everyday life. But that's all you are, a distraction. You're a simple guy who spends too much time at the gym, and you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, sure. But you're not someone I could ever take seriously. You're not rich, you're not smart, and frankly, we wouldn't have anything to talk about outside of this." Michael felt as if the ground had been pulled out from under him. He had imagined a future with Sharon, but she had never seen him as anything more than a temporary amusement. And besides, Sharon continued, I don't want to go back to working in some stinking cafe, smiling at customers, hoping they leave a tip. The only good thing about you, Michael, is that you're great in bed. But that's where it ends. Her words stung more than Michael cared to admit. He had been used, reduced to nothing more than a plaything. Sharon didn't even look back as she left the gym that day, leaving Michael standing there, wondering how he had let himself get so lost in something so meaningless. From that day on, Michael focused on his work with a renewed sense of purpose, but the experience left a bitter taste in his mouth. He learned the hard way that some lines should never be crossed, and that not everyone who walks into your life has good intentions.